past prime produce pasta. Hey everybody, it's your friend Jenna with Uncomplicated Kitchen, and today I want to show you how to make some past prime produce pasta. Past prime produce pasta, past prime produce pasta, past prime produce pasta. So lots of times we buy lots of produce or grow lots of produce to have the best intentions. Next time you look, you've got some squishy peppers and some bendy zucchini. And it's not like veggie tray ready anymore, but what it is perfect for is past prime produce pasta. Nailed it! So I want to take you through the steps that I would take myself through when deciding to make something like this on the fly. First thing I want to do is get my veggies cooking. So I'm going to start with the peppers because they do take a bit longer to cook than zucchini. So I'm going to cut these into thin strips. I'm going to get these peppers cooking. I'm going to turn this onto about medium heat. And because I don't want to do more dishes than I have to, I'm doing this all in the same pot. Gonna add some olive oil to this. Enough oil in the pan just to coat the bottom. It can preheat while I'm finishing cutting these veggies. So I'm just gonna do thin strips of this pepper. So I'm just gonna get these pepper strips in the pan. Some of each color. Gonna give this a stir. To aid the cooking process, I'm gonna add a nice pinch of salt. The salt is gonna help draw out the moisture from those peppers. And now for the zucchini. I gotta be honest, 2 of 3 people in my house do not like zucchini. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grate it to make it melt down right into that pasta. Because zucchini is so much water, it's gonna melt right away when we saute it. 1 zucchini grated, going in. 2nd zucchini grating. Remember, keep your fingers far away from that blade. Looks like a ton of zucchini now. It will not when it's done cooking. We're gonna let this cook down for 3 or 4 more minutes. That zucchini should be nice and dissolved by that point. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes and you can see that the volume in this pan has greatly reduced. So I'm gonna keep this going for a little bit longer, really soften everything up. I like garlic a lot more than most people, and so I'm gonna add a bunch. And the coolest thing is that when you know how to cook on your own, you can change things to suit your preferences. So as you can see, this pan looks really dry. So before I add my garlic, I'm gonna add a little bit more oil. Fat carries flavor, and what we really need is to have enough fat for that garlic to travel all throughout the dish. The reason you don't add garlic first is because the garlic will want to burn. So after all those veggies are cooked, then I add the garlic. The garlic only needs about 30 seconds to maximum of a minute to cook out that real pungent garlicky flavor. At this point, we're ready to compose the rest of our past prime produce pasta. Okay, so I'm gonna reduce the heat down to low at this point because my veggies are done cooking and the garlic is mellowed out and lovely. So right on top of this, I'm gonna add some of these elbow noodles. I cooked this in anticipation of making this dish because I knew I needed to use up that produce. And what I did was I reserved about a ½ cup of the pasta cooking water. It's gonna help bring everything together. This was a whole box of pasta. I do not need this whole thing. So I'll use it for some macaroni salad later. I'm gonna give that a stir. Remember, my heat is on low. Looks like we've got plenty of oil still remaining. Everything is nice and glossy. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add that ½ cup of cooking water right in. What that cooking water is going to do is help bring everything together. Because that pasta water is so starchy, it's gonna kind of act like glue. And now I have some fresh grated Parmesan cheese left over from pizza night. If you have fresh herbs on hand, add some of those. Right now, I do not, and so I'm gonna add a little bit of dried oregano. Give it another stir. Gonna add some cracked black pepper. And then we're gonna wait until all this is warmed through before we serve it. This is also a really great dish if you have little bits of odds and ends, maybe leftover chicken or shrimp. Go ahead and throw that right on in. It's kind of a clean out the fridge pasta as well. The sizzle tells me that it is warmed through. Look how glossy and saucy that looks. We can thank that pasta water for that. Time to taste it, just to be sure we don't want to adjust our seasonings, and then we can enjoy it. It doesn't need anything. It's warmed through, ready to go. Shut the heat off so we can have some. We made it. Past prime produce pasta. I've been practicing saying it. Squishy peppers and floppy zucchini have never been so delicious. Until next time, everybody, bye.